Yeah, well, it's interesting because all of a sudden you find yourself in this position where you are completely dialed into the moment. You just become present and focused in the role itself, and you're channeling this energy just to improve your ability. And ultimately we then find ourselves with this balance of calmness and intensity with this high degree of attention, which then introduces this idea of flow state.
Like if you go to the internet and look for some of the old jiu-jitsu champions, that they are heroes. It has a very poor media around the world.
So the moment I stepped in the gym, there was really an energy that surrounded me, that it knew that I was a place I wanted to be and I didn't want to leave.
I felt the martial arts. I saw that thing going on, you know, like all these men, like all these people, like keen to learn. When I step in the gym, it's like straight away become part of my environment.
So in Jiu-Jitsu, a very common word you'll hear is flow, and the idea of flowing in Jiu-Jitsu is very important. A lot of people will describe it, similar to surfing and catching a wave, where you become very much in the moment, and there's that idea of flow state where you will be able to forget about everything else that's going on in your life for a brief moment. Even if it's a 5-minute round, a 6-minute round, it might only be a minute or two, but where you become completely present in the moment of what's happening.
Hello, my name is Marcelo Zerbeto. I'm from Brazil. I started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when I was 12 years old.
My name's Sonny Brown. I started doing Jiu-Jitsu when I was 24 years old.
I started Jiu-Jitsu after I lost my dad. My dad passed away. My mom asked me what I want to do with my life, and then I say Jiu-Jitsu straight away.
When I was in year 11 at high school, I was attacked quite viciously in the streets. I ended up in intensive care, and as such I lost a lot of my confidence, or my self-confidence, and I found martial arts, and particularly Jiu-Jitsu, was eventually a good way to help me rebuild that back up.
I would say Jiu-Jitsu is like helping me in so many different ways in my life, for sure. Like in all aspect of my life, all aspect you can think is Jiu-Jitsu is that, you know, like that's the best thing Jiu-Jitsu helping me, you know, like step back, breathe, and ask myself, what am I doing wrong? Behind the competition, there are some good lessons, like, you know, like resilience, respect, you know, like, especially in Jiu-Jitsu, like you training, sometimes it's true, like life is not easy, you know, it's the same Jiu-Jitsu.
So for Jiu-Jitsu, adaptability is so important. There's an old martial arts saying that is, the branch that doesn't bend will break, and the idea being that if you don't adapt to those winds of change, then that will be what snaps you. So the ability to bend in those situations and adapt to it is what can keep you alive and what can keep you growing.
It's helping me so much because in Jiu-Jitsu it's always like you can be in a good position, but in fraction of a second, the whole good position can spin out and can be in a bad position. That's one of the most important things, because in life, that's kind of same in life, you know. In life sometimes it's like in the bottom, you don't know, you don't have where to go anymore. That's when you have to stop, think.
Through so many changes in life, so many seasons that had changed over the years, yet Jiu-Jitsu was one of the constant things in my life that hadn't changed. That ability to show up every night and practice an art that I love and enjoy doing. it is a personal experience in that it's not always comfortable and it's not always going to be the best time, because you're going to have those ups and downs where even if you think you are at your best on a particular night, if your best that night is not as good as someone else's best on that night, you could still come second place in a particular scramble situation or role.
And I feel like kind of natural for me, because it's like it feel like it running in my blood, because it's Brazilians, you know, most Brazilians do jiu-jitsu. It is a big community in jiu-jitsu.
Over time, jiu-jitsu became such a part of my life that it became, you know, essentially the built environment that I would begin to live in. So, and I've seen this take effect on people over the years, where it's just by repeatedly putting yourself into the same, you know, situations of a positive gym environment, it will change people's outlook and perspectives on life.